Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Spotlight. Uh-oh, the volume. Hang on. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Nice to see you all today. So many people are joining. Nakalagay, kapit lang, connecting na. Welcome to Spotlight's Coach Moko. I'm Myrza Sison. I'm a host, editor, former model, former computer programmer, daming former. Thank you to KUMU for giving me the opportunity to share my many messages and insights. And welcome to Join Lang Nang Join. This is what I've called this stream. Join Lang Nang Join. We're together. We'll explore how we can keep saying yes to life so we can enjoy all the great experiences it can offer. So, ayan, join lang nang join. That's my motto. And that's the title of the book that I am writing but have not started. So, abangan yan. So, today, our topic is 10 self-defeating things we should all stop saying to ourselves. I don't know if you saw my announcement promo. 10 self-defeating things we should stop saying to ourselves. But first, let me greet everybody sending me hello and stuff. Hello, Inish, user 64089. She said, "Hi, Mom, please help me to buy a cell phone in my online class." Oh, wow. So many people. Marky Z, hello. Hello, everyone. So nice to see you today. So, sinong kausap natin all day long? All day long. Sinong kausap natin lahat all day long? Sinong ka-dialogue natin? There's one person, ourselves. All day long, kausap natin ang sarili natin. And we tell ourselves so many things, right? Not all positive. Sometimes they're innocent expressions, but destructive. And sometimes we say it out loud, right? But, the mind is a powerful thing and we believe what we think. Minsan, yung sinasabi natin sa sarili natin or even out loud, pinapaniwalaan natin. And minsan, hindi siya maganda. The words that we choose have such a powerful effect on how we think of the world, of ourselves, and it influences how we act, how we speak, and how we go about our lives, or even what we achieve in life. So I have to admit, even I still struggle with these words that I'm about to show you, but I'm aware that I should stop. So just catch yourself whenever you say so many things. But first, I want to greet Gratilicious, sending a hello. It's me, JCB. Thank you. All your comments and your support is really helping me get through this stream. So you can catch me every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on Spotlight. So there, asahan ko na sasali kayo ulit. So yun. So I want everyone to really think about the things that we say and try to cut it out of your vocabulary kasi minsan hindi maganda yung nadudulot. So, okay, let's start with number 1. Ayan na. Everybody knows I have a bang gap problem. Bangs are power. So, pag nakahiwala yung bangs ko, hindi ako makaisip. Okay, yan. Okay. Mag-awardan ako ng prize to the person who can tell me how I can keep my bangs intact. Okay, the first thing that we should stop saying to ourselves is, wala tayong magagawa eh. It's like a feeling of helplessness. And sometimes we're so quick to say it kahit na meron. I mean, isipin na rin natin, wala ba talagang magagawa? Diba? Talagang, did we exhaust all means to solve the problem or achieve our goal? I have a friend, beauty queen siya dati, pangalan niya Jem Padilla, laking tondo siya. Ang kwento niya sa amin, sa bahay nila, bawal sabihin ng, wala tayong magagawa eh. Kasi parang pinamulat ng parents nila na lahat ng bagay, na lahat ng problema may solution. Lahat pwedeng may magawa. I mean, you have to be proactive. Isipin mo talaga, wala na ba talagang magagawa? Minsan, wala talagang magagawa. Anong magagawa natin kung bumabagyo ng grabe-grabe? Hindi natin mapipigilan yung bagyo. Pero may magagawa tayo para maging safe, di ba? Pwede tayong lumikas, pwede tayong gumawa ng measures, di ba? I mean, taon-taon na lang may bagyo, taon-taon may baha. Minsan sinasabi ng mga in charge, wala tayong magagawa. Actually, marami tayong magagawa kung paghandaan lang natin. So yun, even in our life, don't be so quick to be resigned na walang solution to your problems. Mahirap tayo, wala tayong magagawa. Tumaba, wala tayong magagawa. Actually, madaming magagawa. So isipin natin mabuti. Baka meron talagang magagawa. Ang tawag dito ay ang pagiging proactive. If you're proactive, you always look for solutions to problems. Di ba may mga tao na they're so quick to see the problem in everything. Not the solution, di ba? You propose the solution, they'll find fault and see a problem. Yung problema dyan sa solution mo ganyan. Wala tayong magagawa. So try and not be so self-defeating. Try and adopt a mindset of being proactive and really think, ano ba talagang magagawa? I mean, matalino tayong lahat. Ang mga Pinoy, di ba, sobrang resourceful, sobrang resilient. Bad word na nga yung resilient kasi parang ngayon, glamorize yung resilience and they're saying na don't glamorize the resilience of the Filipino kasi we're always parang sanay tayong mag-suffer, sanay tayong mag-sacrifice, imbis na actionan yung problema or gawa ng paraan. Resilience is good, but sometimes most of the time you have to be proactive and really find solutions. Be solution-oriented, not problem-finding, di ba? Dapat problem-solving yung mindset natin, not problem-finding. And minsan, talagang there are things na walang magagawa, di ba? And that's, I don't know if you've heard of the Serenity Prayer where they say, God help me determine the things I can change and the things I cannot change and the wisdom to know the difference. There are really things you cannot change and there are things you can change. You just have to know the difference. Again, parang pinarot ko lang. But actually, the things that you cannot change, find a way to respond to those things. Find a way to adapt to those things. For example, pandemic, wala tayong magagawa, may pandemic, di ba? Kakalat at kakalat din. Pero may magagawa tayo on our part para hindi kumalat. Pwedeng mag-mask, pwedeng mag-face shield, pwedeng umiwas sa crowd, di ba? There are ways to respond to things that are dealt to us. So yun, try to adapt the mindset of may magagawa at magagawa, imbis na wala tayong magagawa. Agree ba kayo? Kung meron kayong mga tanong, just ask away so that I can answer them right away. Hello po from user 62-70808, from Janice, and from Winbrill, and from Neri Salvatera. So, yun. I hope you all follow me. I hope all your hearts and halos and comments turn into follows. Follow me on KUMU. I'm also on Facebook. And I'm also on Instagram at Myrza Sison lang. So on Instagram, it's at Myrza Sison, MYRZASISON. On Facebook, go to facebook.com/SisonMyrza. And on Facebook, YouTube, and KUMU, I live stream 2 other shows. One's called TikTok, where I interview celebrities in the fields of entertainment, fashion, music, and it's very entertaining chikahan na may mga mapupulot na aral, insights, and lessons. My other show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. TikTok is Monday at 5 p.m. And Ask Miss Mears is on Wednesday at 5 p.m. On Facebook, KUMU, and YouTube. Ask Miss Mears naman, I interview an expert to give us very practical tips about the things that you're interested in. So, okay, back to our show. So number 2 na kailangan nating tanggalin sa vocabulary natin is, kawawa naman ako. Di ba sometimes we're so prone to self-pity. I don't know why. Parang likas na sa Pilipino na maging feeling ape. I don't know kung dahil lumaki tayo sa mga teleserye na laging may ape, laging may kontrabida. Di ba? Laging may kawawa, laging may angat, laging may masama, laging may mabuti. Hindi naman ganun ka black and white yung life, di ba? I mean, may mga taong tingin natin masama, pero may mabuti rin silang qualities. And at the same time, may mga tao na, di ba, parang ang bait-bait, pero hindi naman pala. I mean, iba-iba yung tao, hindi lang sila either good or bad. So, there's no reason na mag-adapt tayo ng mindset na ape or kawawa. Kawawa naman ako, lagi na lang ako. And I believe that this has to do with the way we grow up or our childhood conditioning. I'm not blaming any parents, but sometimes if maybe in your upbringing you felt like hindi ka favorite or hindi ka favored, or maybe a teacher traumatized you in school when you're growing up, these traumas or this imprinting in childhood, psychological imprinting, it really lasts until adulthood. And sometimes if you really examine yourself, tas alamin mo talaga, ano bang nangyari sa akin? Bakit ganito yung pananaw ko? Minsan mahahanap mo doon kung ano yung nag-trigger, kung bakit ganun yung feeling mo, di ba? The way we are raised and what we are told when we are young, ang laking effect nun sa isip natin, di ba? So doon manggagaling yung mga feeling of kawawa. And if you feel kawawa, minsan feeling mo, wala namang magagawa. And then, so that's back to number 1, where we said, instead of saying walang magagawa, isipin natin, may magagawa at magagawa. Diba? So, yun. Tanggalin ang feeling na kawawa naman ako. Oh, I'm seeing so many follows. Hello, April Baboom. I'm so happy to see you. I hope you ask a question and you followed me pa. Okay, I want you to ask me a question, April Baboom. Thank you for the halo-halo from J. Corosales. O, di ba? So, yon. Number 3. Ano yung number 3? Ito. I'm sure familiar ito sa ating lahat. Bakit ganon? Unfair. Di ba? Parang, ang tawag dyan ay persecution complex. Minsan, tayo ring mga Pinoy, may ganyan tayo, di ba? Bakit ganon? Ang unfair naman. It's sad but true, but, you know, life is not fair. We're all born the same as human beings, di ba? Pareho tayo ng physical features. Lahat tayo may buhok, mata, ilong, bibig, katawan, kamay, paa. May mga iba na hindi, pero that's another story rin because it really depends on how you adapt to what you were given. So, but maybe we are born under different circumstances, di ba? May pinanganak na mayaman, may pinanganak na mahirap. In that case, you might think, bakit ganun unfair? Bakit sila pinanganak na mayaman? Bakit pinanganak na mahirap? Pero alam naman natin at maraming example ng mga mahirap na naging mayaman, di ba? Meron ding mga mayaman na naging mahirap, di ba? Well, of course, may mayaman na namatay ng mayaman at mahirap na namatay ng mahirap, pero nasa sa atin rin yun, di ba? Minsan, or sasabihin natin, bakit unfair nung nag-distribute ng kagandahan? Siyang dami, ako konti lang, di ba? But then as we know, yung kagandahan, relative yon, di ba? Parang minsan, alam mo, there's always a girl in school na parang nung bata tayo, ang ganda-ganda niya. Siya na yung pinakamaganda sa buong school. Pero, nung nagtagal, ang tingin ba ng tao nung either pumunta siya sa college or out in the world, di ba? Yung kagandahan, fleeting naman. Malay mo sa ibang environment, hindi siya maganda, di ba? So many people I know had the feeling na hindi sila maganda. And then, because maybe yun ang conditioning, di ba? In the way we are conditioned to perceive beauty, the ideal has always been fair, mestiza, di ba? Smooth, straight hair na perpetuate rin ng TV commercials or sometimes if you see it in magazines. So we grew up with the belief na hindi tayo maganda. And then, sometimes nag-abroad sila where they're considered to be so unique and so different from everyone. And then suddenly, they were treated as they were beautiful. Yung pala, iba lang yung environment. So maganda is relative. And then alam naman nating lahat ba ng maganda naging successful? Meron. Pero lahat ba ng successful, maganda? Hindi rin, di ba? So, kanya-kanya lang yun. Even yung ang definition ng maganda, relative siya. And alam naman natin ngayon, sino ba nagsabi? I think Coco Chanel said, there are no ugly women, just lazy ones. Not naman to belittle beauty and diversity, but there are so many ways to improve your appearance if that's what you want. Some people are fine the way they are, and that's fine too. But if you want change, it's just within your reach. There's so many ways to change your appearance the way you want. It's really up to you. So yun, depende lang. I always tell people also, depende lang sa market mo, di ba? Sometimes we have friends na feeling nila wala sila kasing boyfriend or wala silang date dahil ang preferred ng pinahanap nilang i-date ganitong klaseng itsura. Minsan sasabihin lang na mag-joke kami, you're just in the wrong country or mali lang yung market mo. Or bakit ba? I mean, times are really changing. Beauty and diversity is very much promoted. And so, nag-ring ang phone. Okay. And so, sorry, what was I saying? There's beauty and diversity, times are changing. And so you really have to embrace who you are and be so like kampante in how you look and then embrace it. I mean, is it complexion that you have a complex about, or your hair's too curly, whatever, iba na yung world ngayon. There's so many examples of people embracing their own beauty. So yun, iwasan nang isipin yung bakit ganon unfair. There's always a way, which always goes back to number one. Wala tayong magagawa. Life is unfair. Actually, may magagawa at magagawa tayo. So tanggalin na natin sa isip natin. Totoo, life is unfair. Minsan, hindi talaga equal. Pero kaya pinaglalaban din natin na mas maging equal ang mga rights in society, di ba? Kaya pinaglalaban natin na makaangat din yung mga disadvantaged or unprivileged. So yun. So in your own life and in your own existence, try to strive to do your best to achieve your goals. And that way, even if life is unfair, it's how you respond to what you are given. The next one is, buti pa siya. O, di ba? Sakit natin yan. We're always comparing ourselves with others. I saw a quote, I don't know who said it, but they said, comparison is the thief of joy. Pag nagko-compare tayo sa iba, parang nananakawan tayo ng happiness. Comparison is the thief of joy. So, yun, pag nagko-compare tayo, sometimes we get so depressed, right? Like, social media is not really helping because we tend to look at what others are posting, how others are living. But we all know naman that everyone, you and me included, we're only posting the best photos of ourselves or the best depictions of ourselves. Pinifilter natin to present an image, di ba? I mean, pinopost ba natin yung mga pangit sa buhay natin? Pinopost ba natin yung mga problema? Hindi, di ba? Only the magaganda yung pinopost natin. So, isipin nyo na lahat ng kinaingitan nyo, pinifilter din nila yung buhay nila. And you're not supposed to compare. The only person you should compare yourself to yourself is yourself. I mean, compare your progress. Are you better today than you were yesterday? Yun lang ang dapat i-compare. Wag nang i-compare, wag nang kaiingitan. Minsan yung inggit, yan ang yan ang parang cancer sa loob ng isip natin. Sa sobrang inggit natin, nainis tayo sa mga ibang nagsasucceed, di ba? So, dyan pumupunta yung mga basher. Bakit nagbabash yung mga tao? Dahil nainggit sila, di ba? Dahil di nila ma-attain na na-achieve nung isa yung gusto nilang ma-achieve. So, sa galit nila dun sa tao, actually galit nila yun sa sarili natin. Alam mo ba yung expression na GGSS? Sometimes we say that, ay, si girl, GGSS masyado, gandang-ganda sa sarili. Ano ba yan? Feeling niya, ang ganda niya. Actually, lahat tayo, dapat GGSS, dapat gandang-ganda tayo sa sarili natin. Minsan, di ba, ang mga opportunities in life, napupunta ba ang best opportunities dun sa pinakamagaling or pinakamaganda? Hindi. Minsan, dun lang sa pinaka-GGSS, pinaka-makapal. Diba? I have so many stories of, because I was a model for about 8 years in my 20s. And I hear so many stories of mga supermodel na kakilala ng ibang kakilala ko. And they would say the nastiest things like, yon, naging supermodel, oh my God, nung high school kami, mukha siyang bakla. No offense to bakla, but that was what I heard. Ang pangit-pangit niya, mukha siyang chongo, or sobrang tangkad niya, mukha siyang gorilla. So many insults. And then ngayon, supermodel na siya. Ano yan? Ba't naging ganun? And you can hear so much hate in those comments. And they are actually comments of envy, right? I mean, imbis na matuwa na, the girl we did not even consider beautiful is now a paragon of beauty, di ba? So yung mga bashing or negativity, sometimes the root is really envy and jealousy. So try not to be like that. And if you strive not to be envious of others and just focus on yourself, imagine all the energy you are giving to give yourself anxiety over how much better others are doing. If you turn that inward and focus it on yourself, imagine what good can come of it, di ba? Lahat ng energy and hours and minutes na spend mo kaka-scroll, kaka-compare, bakit ako hindi ganun? Be proactive and gawin mo ng paraan. So, back to number 1, when you say wala tayong magagawa, may magagawa at magagawa tayo. So, buti pa siya, tanggalin. Please, tanggalin. Okay, I'm just gonna review some of the questions that I might have missed. Ay, ang daming halo-halo. Ayan, may replay ba ito? We'll try. Pwede ba mapanood mamaya from, kung mabasa. Replay, maghanap tayo ng paraan para ma-replay mamaya. I know hindi pa siya pwede, pero we'll find a way. So yan, tanggalin sa vocabulary natin ang buti pa siya. Okay? If you catch yourself saying, buti pa siya, stop it. Sometimes nga, I unfollow na yung mga na aminin ko, nainggit din ako, di ba? Sometimes, you really can't help but compare. I mean, in our quest to improve ourselves and do better. Minsan may mga peg ka, di ba? Parang, this is how I foresee what I want to do. Gusto ko maging katulad niya in my career, or let's say, body peg, or I don't know what, hair goals. Gawin mong inspiration, wag mong gawin kainggitan. So minsan, when I catch myself, I mean, I'm just human, na sobrang inggit sa ibang tao. Or minsan, di ba, may tao na feeling mo, bakit ang dami na niyang success or pera or followers? Mas magaling naman ako dyan, di ba? Aminin mo yan sa sarili mo, but then, try to make that person an inspiration rather than kinaiinisan. I mean, analyze mo na lang kung anong ginawa niya. Paano siya naging gano'n, di ba? Swerte lang ba? Hindi lang naman swerte, minsan may kayod din, di ba? Or ano ba yung abilidad niya? Baka machika siya, di ba? Or you can just dismiss it and say, puro chika lang yan, chika ng chika, kaya naging gano'n. Yung charm and interpersonal skills, importante rin yung skill to get ahead in life, di ba? Kung iisipin mo, minsan in business, sino ba yung mayaman? Yung bang pinakamataas yung grades sa school? Hindi rin, di ba? Minsan, yung pinaka-friendly kasi benta siya ng benta, ayaw niyang tumigil kakabenta, bumibili naman lahat. Friendly niya kasi, di ba? Analyze mo na lang. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I'm only human and sometimes there are people I follow na talagang negative na yung effect sa akin. So ina-unfollow ko na lang sila, hindi naman nila alam, di ba? Parang I cannot bear watching them day by day kasi negative yung effect sa akin. So I unfollow them na lang. But then, in-analyze ko rin at binabalikan ko minsan to say, bakit ka ba na-affect ng negatively? Ano yung kinaiinisan mo talaga? Minsan, it's really, let's say, if you analyze things, bakit ang dami niyang followers? Kasi post siya ng post, araw-araw post siya ng post, araw-araw GGSS siya. Post siya ng post. O ba't ikaw hindi, di ba? Baka kaya mo rin yun. If that's what it takes to get what you want, analyze it. Baka ayaw mo lang gawin yung ginagawa niya, di ba? Try and see. So stop comparing yourself with others. Next. We like to blame. Lahat na lang ng problema, kasalanan ng iba, di ba? Siya kasi, it's never you, it's never me. We're always blaming, di ba? Minsan kasalanan din ng ibang tao, di ba? I mean, gano'n naman. Pero minsan, try mo rin tignan ano yung part mo doon, di ba? Like, in relationships, we like to, if we are number 2, kawawa naman ako, self-pity. Minsan, we like to say, siya kasi, or di ba, you blame the other person. Minsan, kasalanan talaga nila, pero minsan, may kasalanan ka rin, di ba? Really try and be self-aware enough and be brave enough to confront your part in whatever is happening. And try not to blame. I mean, kung ganun sila, di ba? Pero ano naman yung part na ginawa mo? Which is not to say na aakuin mo na lang yung kasalanan, di ba? Minsan, mali rin, di ba? Minsan, feeling mo, kasalanan ko to lahat kasi ganyan ako. Eh, may part din yung kabilang party. So, really try and analyze. If you're not sure, you can talk to a friend and see, di ba? Bring your problem to your friend. Sa tingin mo ba, di ba, dito sa away namin, sino ba talagang may kasalanan? And it's usually not one bad person and one good person. Again, namulat kasi tayo sa mga teleserye kung black and white ang buhay, may bida, may kontrabida. But then, life is not black and white, it is gray. Kahit yung bida at kontrabida may good points and may bad points. And we're all just gray. So try and really see who's to blame. And in fact, don't blame. I mean, sometimes we blame our parents, di ba? We're human, we blame our parents. I became like this because they raised me this way. But then, they only did what they thought was right because they also were raised by their own parents, di ba? You can say, kasi yung parents ko, hindi sila affectionate, hindi kami niyakap ng bata kami, hindi sila nagsabi ng I love you. But then baka nung generation nila, hindi ganon. Like I remember in our family. So our parents were not affectionate. Like they really didn't give a lot of praise kasi they came from the generation where loving a child means tough love. It means training your child to be the best. And even giving them a hard time so that they learn how to overcome obstacles. So, ganon, tough love, diba? And when you're a child, and I mean, I'm Gen X, and Gen X, we were raised on culture and mass media where you saw, like in American movies, everyone's hugging each other, children are really praised or being told, I love you. So you tend to compare, right? But then, when you grow up and you mature and you look back, our parents were only doing what they thought was the right thing to do. So you can only blame them so much. In fact, don't blame them. I mean, be self-introspective and self-aware enough to look at your history, because your childhood history and the conditioning that you got and the psychology of it all does have a bearing on the kind of person you turn out to be. But don't blame. I mean, take them as fact. Because I was never told this, I became like this. Pues, if you were never praised as a child and you're still seeking it now, praise yourself. I mean, sometimes you seek it in others and you become so desperate to be praised na minsan you make bad decisions then, di ba? You get attracted to the wrong kind of people. Try and give yourself what you were not given. And then stop the blame. I mean, just take them as fact. Like, okay, fact. Hindi ako pinuri masyado ng magulang ko. Thus, naging insecure ako. Hindi ako nagkaroon ng paniniwala sa sarili. So, naging mahiyain ako. So, hindi ako naging matapang enough to go after what I want. That's a big step. I mean, your introspection is a big step. Kung nalaman mo na ganun palang nangyari, get past blaming them and find ways to give yourself what you were not given. And then, I promise you, mag-change yung life mo. Okay, number 6. Sana kasi mayaman kami. Sana kasi, sana maputi ako. Old thinking na yan, please. Be happy in the skin you're in. Well, it's really a matter of personal choice. Okay, I digress. Sana is wishful thinking. And parang connected din to sa wala tayong magagawa. So, di ba? Sana may kotse ako. Sana naging artista ako. Sana. I-list mo lahat ng sana mo in life. And C, go back to number 1 na wala kang magagawa. And then C, ano ba? Baka naman achievable yung mga goal mo. Imbis na mga sana, gawin mo ng totoo, di ba? Like, I remember Matt K, I love your bangs. Oh my gosh, Matt, thank you so much. I love them too, but they're misbehaving and they like to separate. So, bangs are life. So, if anybody can give me a solution to avoiding bang gap, I'll give you a prize. Okay, back to sana. So, sorry daming kwento about my life. But then, yun lang yung experience ko. So, yun lang makakwento ko. So, I was kind of advanced for my age. By age 5, grade 1 na ako. By age 11, high school na ako. So, by age 14, college na ako. By age 18, nagtatrabaho na ako. Sobrang advanced, diba? So when my parents saw na, medyo advanced tong bata na to, they gave me a very, parang intellectual path na, okay, this child will do this. They planned my life for me. But then, that's the best way they knew how. That's how they were raised. And back then, hindi naman career really na serious yung arts or whatever, acting or performing, hindi yun considered as a good career path. They're baby boomers. So they were from the generation where ang batayan ng success ay to be a doctor, lawyer, and during my time, it was to be in computers, to be an IT professional. And as we can see, ang mga nag-follow ng path to IT, they really did well in life, di ba? I mean, daming tycoons na tech, di ba? Daming tech tycoons. So, they planned a life in IT for me. And so, I was very nerdy, I was very shy, I was very geeky. Aral lang ako ng araw, wala akong ginawa kundi mag-aral. But then, since I was young for my grade or year in high school or whatever, yung mind ko and yung emotions ko, medyo young pa, di ba? So, I remember I was already working in SGV, but nagbabasa pa rin ako ng 17 magazine. Kasi 18 lang ako noon. 18 or 19. So medyo isip bata pa, di ba? And kakabasa ng 17 magazine, which is a fashion magazine for teenagers, I developed this weird fantasy of becoming a model, di ba? Parang sobrang unlikely. If you ever saw my high school pictures, you would never ever think. So anyway, that was my secret fantasy, to be a model. But I was a computer programmer. So I had a sana, di ba? Like, sana naging model na lang ako. Sana, I mean, I loved what I did. Well, maybe I loved being a programmer, but maybe I liked it, not loved it. Like, it was a good job. I did well. I think my knowledge in it was good enough. And so I was doing well in my job. But then at the back of my mind, meron akong sana. Sana gusto ko sanang maging model. Parang hindi ko ma-shake off yung dream na yon. But then, parang such a stupid dream, di ba? So, in the end, ginawa ko ng paraan. And then, na-achieve ko. I mean, I broke it down into steps. Naghanap rin pa ako ng way para makapenetrate sa industry. And then, nagawa ko rin. So, sana maging example to about there's really nothing impossible. If there's something that you have put sana next to, try and analyze and break it down. We have the power to achieve what we want. And there's nothing that's impossible. Maybe you won't achieve exactly what you want. And maybe yung mga sana mo is not exactly kung anong mangyayari kung ginawan mo ng paraan. But somehow, you can improve your plight, you can improve your conditions, you can improve your life, or really go for the life that you want for. And it doesn't have to be just sana. So, catch yourself next time when you say sana. Sulat mo kung ano yung sana mo and then think, paano ko to magiging mapapagawang totoo? Tama ba yun? Okay, number 7. Ano na lang sasabihin nila? Nakakahiya. Ay, wag na lang, baka sabihin kasi ganyan ako or baka sabihin kasi ganyan ako. We have such a big fear of disapproval by others and shame. And we can't help it. It's the kind of society we have. Maybe it's the kind of world that we have. So hard to try new things when you are constantly afraid of what others will say, di ba? Dito na lang ako sa safe path. Dito na lang ako sa safe path kasi parang wala nang masabi iba, di ba? We like to say, sige, ganito na lang para walang masabi. Para walang masabi. Eh, sino ba yung mga nagsasabi? And do they matter in your life? Sometimes they do. Medyo ang ugali natin, medyo pakialamera tayo, di ba? Gusto nating makialam sa the way others live their life, di ba? Dami nating satsat minsan, daming comments. I mean, we get mad when people say the worst things like bakit wala ka pang asawa, bakit ang taba mo, bakit ang payat mo, di ba? Nakikialam sila sa atin. Pero minsan ganun din tayo. In fact, yung fear of judgment, pinoint out sa akin ng friend ko na si Lourdes de Vera. Kung sino yung pinakamalaki ng fear of judgment, minsan sila kasi yung judge ng judge, di ba? Parang takot tayong laitin tayo. Isipin natin kung bakit. Kasi minsan tayo yung mapanglait, di ba? So parang naririnig mo yung mga lait na sinasabi mo sa iba. Di ba? Parang, minsan fun kasi manglait, di ba? Parang magpupuntirya ka ng tao and then lalaitin mo, lait. So minsan, pag ikaw na yung nasa sitwasyon nila, naririnig mo yung mga lait na sinasabi mo sa iba. So lalo kang natatakot. So when you say, ano na lang sasabihin nila, nakakaya, baka sabihin nila, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D, or kung ano man. Minsan, dahil mapanglait din tayo, that's why we care. But then we really shouldn't care. I mean, we should care to a certain extent. But then, the way you live your life should be your own concern, diba? How you live your life and the way you live your life is really up to you. Whatever other people think, bahala sila. The other day, nung Monday, on TikTok, I interviewed Mylene Dizon, award-winning actress. I'm sure you know her. She just came out in this movie where she played an older woman in a romance with a younger man called Belle de Lure. Yun, I interviewed her and then I really admire her kasi she has really lived her life the way that she wants. So she got pregnant 15 years ago. So she has 2 kids. And then she's had a few relationships. And then now she's in a 7-year relationship with the basketball coach, Jason Webb. And then during my research about her life, I saw so many interviews on YouTube where they were asking her, so kailan kayo magpapakasal ni Jason? Kailan nakasal? Ay, di ba magkaanak ng sarili niyo? And then, imbis na magalit, ang galing niyang sumagot. So she was saying na, ayoko talagang magpakasal. And so, makulit yung mga reporter, ba't ayaw mo ba magpakasal? Di ba dream yun ng lahat ng babae? And then she said, never ko yun naging dream. And then the girl said, bakit? May nangyari bang traumatic nung childhood mo? Tapos natawa lang siya na parang, hindi, wala. Ayoko lang talaga. Simulat mula nung bata ako, hindi ko yun naging dream. Hindi ko pinangarap na mag-walk down the aisle, magkaroon ng mga bridesmaids. Hindi talaga. So she said, alam mo ba, nung bata ako, lahat ng Barbie ko single. Lahat ng Barbie doll ko single. Isa lang yung Ken. Pero hindi ko sila ever kinasal na laro-laro. Hindi ko yun naging dream. And then, makulit pa rin yung reporter. Bakit? And then sinabi na lang niya, may ganun eh. Yun ang gusto ko eh. Ganun lang talaga. So, I really admired her attitude kasi dinaanan ko rin yun. And then so many people, because I got married at the age of 42. Now, that's very unconventional, right? And all of my adult life, people wouldn't stop. Kailan ka mag-asawa, bakit wala kang asawa? Ayaw tumigil, kailan ka magkakaanak, ba't ayaw mo magkaanak? Ayoko talaga magkaanak, di ba? And it's been hard to um, answer those comments, but then I really try not to be affected. It's not easy not to be affected, di ba? You have to devise your own ways of answering. I mean, you don't have to defend your life choices. However you want to live your life is really up to you. Siguro maghanap ka na lang ng funny way to reply or not even. I mean, kung ayaw mong sagutin, wag mong sagutin, you know. Kasi in the end, if we care too much about how other people think, tayo rin yung malungkot, di ba? Parang you're living your life according to other people's expectations and other people's comments, and that's not a very happy way to live your life. So, yun, try to strike that off your list. Ano na lang sasabihin nila nakakaya. Eh kung ano man ang sabihin nila, bahala na sila, di ba? Life nila yun. Ikasasaya ba nila? So yun, try not to fear the disapproval of others or even be ashamed of what you achieve, what you want to achieve in life. Number 8. Ayan. Nako, kaya ko ba yan? Sino ba naman ako? We have self-imposed limitations. Di ba? Parang, it again stems from poor self-image. Like we think that we are kawawa or, you know, we believe the conditioning that we were given, that we are like, what, so low in society that we don't dare face somebody that we perceive to be so high. But again, like I told you, tao lang sila, tao lang tayong lahat. Tao lang sila, tao lang, taong umi-abs, taong nagwiwiwi, taong umuutot, di ba? Try to think of people you're intimidated by in that way, that we are all just humans and we all deserve our own place in the sun. We all have the right to sit at the table, ika nga sa, when you hear it being spoken about in the States. So yun, do not try to go beyond your self-imposed limitations. I remember nung journalist pa ako, it entailed a lot of having to interview famous celebrities, you know, tycoons, important people in society. And I really had to get over any kind of fear or intimidation that I had. And I just had to think of getting the job done, talking to any person as if they're, you know, doing their job. I'm doing my job, they're doing their job. We're just people. So, or whatever you think is your limitation. I remember somebody who wanted to be more fit, pero sobra siyang intimidated by the process. Like, ayaw niya mag-gym kasi malayo yung gym. Or ayaw niyang, kung ano man excuse, di ba? Daming excuse. Ayaw niyang mag-swimming doon sa pool ng condo nila kasi masyadong nag-open yung pool, gantong oras lang, ang daming self-imposed limitations. Minsan you catch yourself rin na, catch yourself kung totoo ba yung mga limitations na sinasabi mo o sa isip mo lang, di ba? Try to get past those limitations. And wag mong isipin, naku, kaya ko ba yan? Isipin mo, yes, kaya ko. Kakayanin, di ba? Pa-shout out daw to Gleneth. Hello, Gleneth. Thank you for watching. Thank you for Thank you for the halo-halo. Thank you to Gachira. Thank you to all of you. I wish you'd all ask questions. Okay. Number 9. Regret. Di ba yung iba sana wishful thinking? Ito naman regret. Kung di ko sana to ginawa, sana ganito yung nangyari. Or kung natapos lang ang pag-aaral ko, sana ganito na lang ako. Or kung pinakasalan ko lang si ganito, sana masaya ako. Di ba? Regret, regret, regret. We shouldn't live in the past, or we shouldn't, we should move on from what is in the past. I mean, kung nagawa mo na, plan B na lang, di ba? Move on. Di maganda to live a life of regrets. I mean, even now, if I look back on life, like, I always wanted to be not just a model, but also a writer and an editor and a journalist. And of course, my dad preferred that I take up BS statistics and not journalism because it was the Marcos regime, and then in his mind, lahat ng mga journalists makukulong lang kasi kinukulong noon ng mga journalists or anybody who spoke out against the government. And so now that I'm pursuing my writing, I really wish na sana nag-aaral ako ng creative writing in college or sana nag-take up ako ng literature para mas marami akong nabasang books para maybe I'll be a better writer if I read more or if that's what I studied. Or maybe when I was an editor, I wished I took up journalism, but then I didn't. So it's pointless and futile to regret those things because there's always a way to catch up. Diba? Like even if I didn't read so many books that I should have read, I can always read them now. Diba? There's a way to catch up. There's a way to amend maybe past mistakes. There's always a way to fix what should have been, and it's pointless to regret. Diba? Don't live a life of regrets. Sometimes that is what debilitates us from pursuing what we want because we're always afraid of making the wrong choice. Like, okay, if I say yes to this opportunity, I might regret it. Diba? Or if I go for what I really want to be, baka mamaya, diba? Laging baka mamaya, baka ganyan ang mangyari. So we're afraid because we're afraid to regret. Just make the choice that feels right at the time. And then don't regret, don't look back, learn from your mistakes, but don't regret, don't live in the past. They say that, I don't know if it's correct, maybe the psychologist might disagree, but I read somewhere, I read a quote that depression comes out of living in the past and anxiety comes out of fearing the future. So sometimes if you look back in the past and wish that your future were different or wish that sana in the past, sana ganun na lang lagi, like I was happier in the past or whatever you compare it to now, you might get depressed or you're anxious because you're so worried and you're overthinking what will happen to you in the future. That's what happens. So don't live in the past. Try to live a life without regrets. And any choice you make actually is the right choice at that time. So try not to beat yourself up so much and give yourself some credit because whatever choice you make was the right choice at the right time. Of course, there are always people who make bad choices. Like for example, there are people who always kind of choose the wrong, I'm not saying bad, or the wrong person to be in a relationship with. And sometimes they have a pattern and sometimes it's destructive to the relationship. And so sometimes you can't help them. Like they keep choosing the wrong guy or the wrong girl. But then that was the right choice for them at that time. I mean, we can only help so much until they themselves realize the mistake they're making and then change their life for the better. But then, just relax and trust yourself, trust your knowledge, trust your instincts, and you will make the right choices so you don't live a life of regret. Ito ang pinaka masaklap. Self-loathing, di ba? We're always talking to ourselves, ang tanga-tanga mo, ang pangit-pangit mo, ang hina-hina mo, ang taba-taba mo, ang kapal-kapal mo, bakit mo sinabi yun? Bakit mo ginawa yun? Bakit hindi mo nagawa yun, di ba? We don't give ourselves enough credit. Really, and it's really self-destructive because instead of saying ang tanga-tanga ko, you can say instead in your mind, I'm trying to understand this right now, di ba? Like, hindi ko pa ito maintindihan kung ano man yung kailangan kong gawin, but give me time, pag-aaralan ko, until makuha ko siya, di ba? You're a work in progress. We shouldn't aim for perfection, but progress, di ba? Whatever it is, whatever knowledge you need to achieve, you can learn things, di ba? Pag-aaralan mo lang, hindi ka tanga, hindi mo pa lang na-master. Di ba? Isipin mo yun. Hindi ka tanga, hindi mo pa lang na-master. And gagawan mo ng paraan. So, also, instead of trying to persecute yourself for failing to reach a certain standard. Just see how far you've come, diba? Instead of saying, tanga-tanga ko, bakit siya ganun na, ako nandito pa rin. Huwag mong i-compare, diba? It's, like I said, don't compare. Just see how you can, in your own time and at your own pace, improve and then aim for progress, not perfection, diba? Try to pat yourself on the back for being better than you were yesterday, and you'll feel better. All this self-loathing, all these negative comments we tell ourselves, again, may roots yan in childhood always, diba? And again, we're not blaming your parents or whoever or your teachers. Sometimes what they have said or what they have taught us has something to do with it. But, just be self-aware enough to analyze. So why do I feel like I'm ugly? Maybe because I was told I was, diba? So many, for example, dark-skinned models that I know, like Wilma Doesn't or Nikita McElroy, who were both part Black, grew up in the nastiest kinds of environments where they were called names, they were called Unggoy, Negrita, Negra, Eta, or whatever nasty things. And so for a while, they believed it, diba? Like, it's easy to believe what you were told, but actually, it's not the case. Like, you think you're so ugly because you were told. You don't have to believe it. And look what happened to them. They chose to go beyond what they were told, and then they seized their own power and they claimed their dark complexion, and it became their asset in the world of modeling. So, sorry, my examples are usually models, but I think they're very good examples. I also know someone, actually the best friend of my husband. He was born in Taiwan, and then when he was 14, his family moved to the US. And he couldn't speak English, and he was so poor in math. He was failing kasi hindi siya maka-adjust, di ba? Hindi siya marunong mag-English, iba yung educational system. So na-brand na siya na tanga. Like, his classmates thought he was stupid, the teachers thought he was stupid, except for one teacher who believed in him so much. And this teacher had the patience to try and help him learn and grow. And this teacher believed that he was not stupid, but that he was smart enough to adapt and to learn. And this teacher was so patient and really saw him as intelligent instead of stupid. And in the end, he believed in this teacher, and in the end, he believed in his own power. And soon enough, he was getting good grades, diba? Because of the encouragement of this teacher. Soon enough, he was adapting well in school, and then he did so well in school, and he's now so successful that he is the president, actually, of Hyatt in China, diba? Hyatt Hotels, hotel management. So, that's such an inspiring story for me. And we all have to find, if we didn't have this kind of teacher or mentor or parent who believed in us, we have to be our own cheerleader. We have to be the one inside our heads cheering us on, diba? I mean, like I said, kausap mo ang sarili mo all day long and you're feeding yourself such negative thoughts. Try and feed yourself positive thoughts and be your own cheerleader, diba? Maybe you can imagine like a friend in your head really cheering you on. Kaya mo to, hindi girl, kaya mo to, kaya natin to. And keep that presence in your head so that whatever you do, you just go back to the cheerleader, and then pretty soon you will believe in the cheerleading that you give yourself. So it's also important to have a support system. I mean, our success is not our own doing. Sometimes we have help along the way. And for me, what has really helped are supportive friends, people who believe in me, people who think I can do whatever I set my mind to doing. And their belief in me and their support, such as all your support in giving me nice comments like Diana Boss 6302348 said, I'm so inspired po sa inyo. inspired din ako sa'yo kasi nag-comment ka ng ganyan. Nai-inspire ako. Also, Miss Joyce, you're such an inspo, Miss Myrza. Oh, I love you, Joyce. You know, Joyce is somebody that I work with in the industry who has never failed to give me so many supports, whether it's her comments or the praise that she gives me, or she calls me life peg. She doesn't know that sometimes she's giving me support, then I am affecting her life. And it's really, really helpful and inspiring to get the support of others. So seek the support of others. Hindi nakakahiyang humingi ng support from friends, even if they're not supportive. I mean, if you tell your friends, "Huy, support niyo naman ako," hindi ba sila kung true friends sila? Hindi, di ba? They will give you support. My last example is I interviewed Risa Manangkil Trillo, who founded Happy Skin Cosmetics. I'm sure you know that brand. And she said, kasi ano siya, morena siya. So while growing up, her classmates were really mean to her. They would call her negra or whatever. They call her ugly. Or one time, because she loved fashion, she would wear like really fashionable get-ups. And then pagtatawanan siya, na sasabihin siya, "Kala mo bang ganda mo? Ang pangit-pangit mo." So ganyan na lang yung kind of treatment na nakukuha niya every day. But then, she did not, all the comments did not break her. Why? She said, because in her household, in her family, every time she went home, every single person in the house thought she was beautiful and smart and fashionable. And it was their support, whether parents niya or siblings niya or yung mga kasambahay nila, pati driver nila, hindi siya nagkukulang sa support and praise and positive feedback from inside the house. And she said that's what gave her the strength to really go for what she wanted in life. Kasi kahit na pagdating na sa school, inaapi-api siya or kinukutsa-kutsa siya, parang may force field siya of support and good positive feelings and confidence that repelled all the negativity that would come her way. So try to find that force field in your life so that you always have a positive mindset. And very important, like I said, have your own personal cheerleader, and that cheerleader is you. So, yon. I hope nakatulong ako sa pag-inspire sa inyo. And let's just quickly go through, review tayo, may quiz mamaya. The 10 things we should stop saying to ourselves. Number 1, wala tayong magagawa helplessness. May magagawa at magagawa tayo. Try to be proactive. Number 2, kawawa naman ako, self-pity. Hindi ka kawawa, may magagawa ka. Meron kang mga kakayahan para magawa mo ang gusto mong gawin. Number 3, bakit ganon? Unfair. Life is unfair, and it's not what you are given, but what you do with what you are given. Number 4, buti pa siya, comparing ourselves with others. Like I said, comparison is the thief of joy. The only one you should compare yourself to is yourself and your progress, not others. If comparing yourself to others is toxic, unfollow those people or just see what you can learn from them in order to be like them. Next, siya kasi, blaming others, blaming our parents, blaming our boyfriend, blaming our husband. It's really up to you. See what faults you have also, and then stop blaming others. Your life is what you make it. It's up to you. It's not up to other people. Sana, sana, sana. Wishful thinking, di ba? Lahat ng sana gusto mong mangyari, isulat mo at tignan mo kung ano ang pwedeng mangyari, di ba? May kakayahan ka. Next, ano na lang sasabihin nila, nakakahiya, fear of disapproval by others. Again, your life is yours. Live it the way you want to live it. You don't have to apologize to anyone. It's up to you. Next, nako, kaya ko ba yan? Sino ba naman ako? Next, kung di ko sana, don't live a life of regret. No regrets. Next, self-loathing. Ang tanga ko, ang pangit ko, ang hina ko. X. Change it to all the positives. And then have your own personal cheerleader who will tell you the things you need to hear to give you confidence. And those are the 10 self-defeating things we should stop saying. Ayan, malapit na ang aking time's up. So, hello to Rex Bach, to Mercy Full Light. Thank you for the halo-halo. from Cherry. Yeah, and I hope I try to greet everyone. Yon, and thank you for all the follows. Please follow me, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.